Did you think dealing with your anger was going to be easy? I did. When I first started this journey, I thought I'd do a couple of weeks counseling and I'd be happy forever. But it took a lot longer than I thought it would. So to help you fix your anger 10 times faster, here are 10 lessons I learned that will help you let go of that one emotion that causes you most of the chaos in your life. For years, anger ruled my life. I'd overreact to some perceived slight, then spend days bouncing between shame and blaming whoever set me off. I tried to dodge the shame at all costs, but it always dragged me back to another angry outburst. Here's what finally broke the cycle. I stopped running from the shame. I let myself feel it, and if I'm being honest, it sucked ass, but it helped me put anger in its place, and it stopped being my go-to emotion. Lesson number 1, feeling your shame after anger is hard, but it's necessary if you want to get a handle on it. When the shame of acting out finally outweighs the satisfaction of losing it, that's when real change starts. Next time you feel the shame creeping in after an angry outburst, don't hide from it. Sit with it. It'll be uncomfortable, but it's the first real step to breaking the cycle of shame and anger. I used to snap without thinking first. What I didn't realize was my body was always trying to give me a warning before it happened. A tight jaw, clenched fists, a churning in my gut, but I just never paid attention to it. One day I actually stopped and noticed those signs before I lost it. Instead of reacting, I paused. That tiny break was all it took to clear my head and handle things calmly. Lesson number 2, your body always warns you before anger takes hold. If you can catch the signs early, you can get a chance to stop yourself before you explode. So next time you feel that irritation in your gut or feel your heart race, don't ignore it. Just pause, take a deep breath. That's your chance to choose what happens next, instead of letting anger run the show. For a while, I tried to hide my anger. I'd suck it up, pretend everything was fine, and just smile. But the more I bottled it up, the more miserable I got. That anger didn't just disappear, it just turned into resentment. And that resentment poisoned my relationships and my life. Things started to change when I learned to actually say what was bothering me. I learned to state my business calmly, without apology or fear of rejection. It wasn't easy at first, but it made a huge difference. So lesson number 3, hiding your anger just makes things worse. If you want real connections, you have to let people know how you feel. And it's not up to others to figure you out. It's up to you to figure out how to explain yourself in a way that makes people want to listen to you. Next time you feel anger building, don't just push it down. Calmly speak up with confidence, and you'll be surprised how much better things get when you stop bottling it up. For a long time, I thought anger was the only way to get what I wanted. If I wasn't forceful, people would just walk all over me, and I wouldn't be heard or be respected. Then one day, almost by accident, I just gave up on yelling. And right in the middle of the shit, I kept my cool and responded with kindness instead of blowing up. I actually said, "Would you like a smoothie?" I let the other person talk, and they responded by listening. I got more success with 5 minutes of being kind than I ever did with hours of anger. If you want better results and stronger relationships, try kindness instead of anger. The old saying is true, you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. I used to get pissed off when someone would disagree with me. It felt like a personal attack, like they were attacking the very core of my being. Every argument turned into a battle to defend my ego. Once I stopped tying my self-worth to being right, things started to change. I started to listen instead of just waiting to fire back. Conflicts got easier. I stayed calm. Arguments stopped feeling like the end of the world. So lesson number 5 is your opinions aren't your identity. If you can let go of that ego trip, you'll handle disagreements without blowing up. So next time someone challenges what you think, check to see if your ego's flaring up. Remind yourself that a difference in opinion isn't a personal attack. I used to blame everyone else for my anger. If I lost it, it was because of what they were doing. It was always their fault, never mine, and that made me feel safe. Eventually, I got tired of feeling out of control, so I made a decision. I took full responsibility for my anger, no matter what anyone else did. Suddenly, I wasn't just reacting, I was choosing how to respond. I started feeling more confident, and for once, I actually had some control over my emotions. So lesson number 6 is taking responsibility for your anger is the only way to change it. If you don't, you'll just stay stuck. Next time you feel yourself getting angry, don't look for someone else to blame. Check yourself and own your response. As a kid, anger was my shield. I used it to protect myself when I felt threatened or powerless. Back then, it worked, sort of. But dragging that habit into adulthood made my life a lot harder. Anger stopped protecting me and it started holding me back. Eventually, I realized I needed better tools. So I put in the work to learn healthier ways to speak up and deal with my feelings. I learned to set boundaries, and life got a whole lot better. So lesson number 7 is what worked for us as a kid won't work forever. Childhood anger might have protected you, but as an adult, it just gets in the way and you need better tools. Next time you feel that anger bubbling up, ask yourself if you're really in danger or just running an old pattern. Try something different, speak up, set a boundary, or just walk away. And if that feels impossible, reach out for help. There's a link in the description. I can get you started. For a long time, I thought anger was just who I was. It was like a core part of my personality, something I couldn't change. I wore it like a badge of honor, even if it made my life harder. But the truth is, anger is just an emotion, not your whole identity. Once I stopped seeing myself as an angry man, I started to see anger for what it was, a feeling that comes and goes. And it got a lot easier to handle. I could choose now how to respond instead of overreacting. So lesson number 8, don't define yourself by your anger. It's just a feeling, not your whole story. Next time you feel anger coming on, remind yourself, this isn't who you are. It's just what you're feeling right now. And you can decide to let it go. There was a time when I kept getting caught in the same angry cycle over and over again, and it felt like an addiction. Every outburst gave me a quick charge and a little bit of dopamine. For a second, it felt good. But then the crash would come and I'd be right back where I started. Once I saw how much I was chasing that rush, things started to change. I realized anger was giving me the same rush as any other addiction. So I started looking for better ways to deal with the stress, stuff that didn't leave me feeling worse later. Breaking that cycle meant my angry episodes got fewer and farther between. So lesson number 9 is anger is addictive. You've got to notice when you're chasing that high and choose something healthier instead. Next time you catch yourself getting fired up for no reason, pause and ask yourself if you're just looking for that rush. Try a different strategy. Call a friend, go for a walk, do anything but feed that dangerous cycle. I used to pull out anger as my weapon of choice. Anytime I wanted something or felt the slightest threat, it became my go-to move, even when it wasn't needed. All it really did was keep me on the edge and push people away. And eventually I realized most situations didn't actually call for anger. Real threats are rare. And most of the time it was just wasting energy and making things harder on myself. So I started saving anger for the moments that actually mattered. Real danger, real injustice, real threats. And the rest of the time I found other ways to stand up for myself. My life got a whole lot more balanced and I actually felt stronger, not weaker, for holding back. So lesson number 10, anger isn't a tool for every problem. Use it only when you truly need it. Next time you feel the dark cloud of anger, ask yourself, is this really a threat or is it just a habit? Save your energy for what matters. If you're serious about changing how you live, don't stop here. These lessons are just one piece of what it means to actually show up as a modern man. There's more to learn, more to work on, and more ways to level up. So here's lesson 11. Keep going and check out this video for the next step. We're just getting started. Good luck, gentlemen. I'll see you on the highway.